Welcome everybody. This is one day from Abu Jambo, and thanks for watching this video because I believe this video is important because so many of you ask me what materials to use to study for NCLEX-RN examination. The NCLEX-RN examination, it's a national exam that's being administered all over the United States and sometimes abroad for foreign nurses. So my presentation today for you is what I used before I take my NCLEX examination. So my suggestion, it's not actually like limited. You can use any resources that helps you to retain the content of the nursing theories and practical aspects of nursing. So what I used is helpful probably for some group of nurses or some people, but others may not like it. But this one is, studies that so many nurses refer what I'm using currently. So what you do is, the first thing is first. You can take NCLEX-RN examination when the board approves you or make you eligible. When the board makes you eligible, you are able to take your NCLEX examination. Then you can practice as registered nurse and you'll be licensed to practice in the states that you applied. After having like your eligibility, you can start seriously studying for board exam. If you're eligible, you can continue studying, but you can start in advance. It's not an easy task to do. You have to study so much. You have to study and cover lots of things on your under your content. So today I'm going to suggest you some of the books that I used and they helped me out. In fact, I used different books to refer, but these ones are selectively nice ones that I suggest for you guys, especially if your English is second language or third language, whatever, or fourth language, we don't know because we all come from different places and there might be differences in understanding. So these books, the one that I'm suggesting for you guys are very helpful. So especially for those who have been out or away from nursing and practicing somewhere else, and those who are coming back to practice nursing, it's very helpful. Some people may take NCLEX as soon as they graduate from school. It's recommended. If you're graduating today, at least minimum you can wait and get successful would be between 3 to 6 months. 6 is very, very long. Take it like right away. Within 3 months, it would be very, very good. As soon as you graduate, if you're studying in the United States, it would be easier for you to continue studying and you can take within 3 months, you'll be done. Because things that you retain will stay until you take your NCLEX examination, and afterwards you can use them in your practice. So I suggest you to take your examination right after your graduation. Just wait, take the exam, within like 3 months. 3 months will be very, very good. Very good, because you have everything. Okay? They recommend it to make it like even earlier, like in 3 weeks. Some people they take in 3 weeks because while they are in their clinicals and last semester of the nursing program, they start studying. Then finally they go for their nursing board exam. But the materials we all use are different. The materials you use are different. Different colleges, they use their own review system and they have their review. So many reviews are out there, but it's up to you to choose which one is the best for you. Having said this, let me just show you some of the books that I used mainly, especially like when you're coming to study like things, it's very hard to choose because there are lots of information out there, a lot, thousands of books, thousands of reviews. It's very difficult to choose, but this is my personal choice. And the first one is Saunders. Everybody knows about Saunders. This is the 7th edition, but I used even the 6th edition. I use the 6th edition, not the 7th. This is a 7, and the 8s, 9s, every year there is an update on the publications. So this is a 7, by the way. It says, if you see this, see that? Saunders Comprehensive Review for NCLEX-RN examination. So you can have this one. If you order like the 6, it's cheaper than this one. If you order maybe 9 or 8 or 9 or 10, whatever, available on the market, you can buy that one as well if you can afford it. The thing is, the difference between each editions is that there are few changes. There are few changes depending on the NCLEX question style and the way how questions are designed. There might be a change every year because they review every year in April. So the board exams are nationally, given in a universal way, because everywhere you take the same kind of question. There is a question bank, they put every question in there, then the computer generates questions. I'll try to explain those kind of, how you will see your questions in the exam, how they put like from the simple to complex questions or harder questions that you will be facing on NCLEX. So I'll talk about it next time, but for you can start reading books. This one gives you like clear pictures. This summarizes everything that you are expecting in nursing, in NCLEX examination, because that's on each chapter has all the contents in there and the questions are designed in there. But don't rely on one book. If the way you are understanding is a little bit different, you can play around, or you can directly go to questions instead of like studying all the contents. If you know, and if you are confident in it, keep doing questions, keep doing more questions. Okay, but this is Saunders. What makes Saunders nice is that it has all the questions that you need to to review your contents. Like the contents can be reviewed and you'll be like, okay, you'll say like, oh, I know about this thing, and if I do some questions more, I'll be successful. That's what actually you initiate yourself to do more questions on Saunders. The funny thing is, for some reason, the questions, actually it's for understanding. I can't put like reasons, but why they designed the questions in Saunders easier is that you will know contents more and more and more. Then when you practice the easiest questions, it would be easy for you to understand the contents. But questions in NCLEX, during NCLEX examination, the question is designed from simple to complex. That's how you study your NCLEX. You start from the simple questions and go to the complex ones. Then you'll be successful in your NCLEX examination. This is actually my recommendation. Personally, that's how I studied. I studied like Saunders. Then I had to go to see questions on Kaplan. I'll come back to Kaplan later on after this. At the end, I'll just say something about Kaplan. But let me finish with the 2 books that I just glanced, I just checked and studied. Most of the study was on Saunders, because Saunders helps you out if you are like away from nursing for a number of years. Probably you might be away from, let's say you're coming from Ethiopia, or you are coming from India, or you're coming from anywhere in the world. Due to your life situations, until you readjust yourself, there are lots of steps that you have to go through. Then you'll forget lots of things. Medicine is like updating every time. So it's reading, going forward, doing things. That's how it is. And probably you'll be forgetting things. So in that case, I suggest people to focus on books that gives them clear content. So one of the books is Saunders, and the other one is the other one that you can use is this book. It's a comprehensive review for NCLEX-RN. I used this one. I just used it. I'm just telling you what I used. It's up to you to choose, but I'm just suggesting, because people are asking me like, oh, what did you use, and what are the books, and what are the references? And this book is printed by Pearson. See that one? Pearson. It says Pearson. So Pearson published this book, and these are actually, Pearson is the one that administers NCLEX-RN examination. But the question is from the National State Board of Nursing, which actually is a comprehensive organization that controls the examination administration. But Pearson is the one that's administering directly to the candidates. So you can also choose this one. It's up to you. So I used this one. I read some of the contents in there. It's really helpful. You have some small notes. I like in a box. You have like, you see those are like very good ones. You can see those, the notes in this. It's a summary of some of the things that you covered under the chapters that you are reading. The same thing is true with Sounders. They have, I'm going to try to put those links in the description if I can, so that you can take a look. Both books have like summary of notes at the end of the chapter, and Sounders has questions at the end of the chapter, but the Pearson, the red book that I show you, has a small box that gives you the key points from each chapter that you covered. As I said earlier, there are so many reviews, especially for people who are like, who were away from nursing for a while, who needs some kind of content. Instead, I mean, in addition to these books, you can have reviews, live reviews, class reviews. So you go to the class and attend some of the reviews, like Kaplan. Kaplan does reviews for students graduating, or it can be for anyone who is eligible to test. Whether you are eligible or not, you can still purchase Kaplan and continue studying. So probably, I think maybe you may pay up to 500. So then you go and study. So there is a live class. So you attend that live class, and when you are done, you will go back and start doing questions while you are watching all the videos of the presentations. So there are lots of things to read. And what makes the questions different in Kaplan and Sounders is that Kaplan questions are a little bit difficult. If you're doing like question banks, you will have like a difficulty of doing questions. It's not an easy question that you will find. That's how you find questions in NCLEX. You will get more difficult questions, and those more difficult questions will let you pass the exam, because NCLEX-RN exam is asking you applicability of your knowledge. Whatever your knowledge you have, you apply into practice to save the life of your patient, which is the life of the patient on your screen. The life of your patient on the screen. The patient will be listed, or the patient is on your computer screen, okay? You answer the questions based on your critical thinking to save the life of the patient on the screen, on the computer screen. So that way questions are designed. The other kind of reviews that you can consider is that there are so many reviews. In fact, there is also Rachel Allen. Rachel Allen is typically for people who have been like away and due to some circumstances who are not unsuccessful, who have been taking tests repeatedly. They give you lectures like 10 days and a 35 days boot camp. It's very, very actually good one if you are still considering to take your NCLEX in that way. There is a 10 days. That 10 days is intensive training, intensive review. Then at the end, you go for examination. Or you can take boot camp if you have like a repeated attempt to pass NCLEX. Some of you might have hard time passing NCLEX a number of times. So it's understandable. The funny thing about NCLEX is that it's not because you're not stupid, it's not because you are not able to do it, but you have been a nice and very, very strong nurse who can make it. But NCLEX is a challenging question for even those top nurses who has been scoring 100 or who has been recording like a grade of 4 at the end of their semester, who are A grade students. But sometimes this happens. You may miss questions that you're missing the questions that's on the screen, but that doesn't mean that you know nothing about the question, but you know it, but the question came in a different way and you're gonna miss it. Everybody does this. So I will suggest you guys to consider this kind of stuff and continue studying, and let me know if you have any comments you can add, or you can suggest any kind of comments to graduates who are making themselves ready to take NCLEX examination, or those of you who are coming from abroad and preparing yourself towards your RN license. It's really exciting. Once you pass, you say, I did it. And probably you will have the best day ever if you pass your NCLEX examination. And as a motivation, I will suggest you to let you plan your days. Let you plan your days. Choose the material that you are able to continue studying. The last thing that I forgot, I'm sorry, I forgot. After you finish studying those books, you can purchase UWorld. Actually, I used UWorld. It's up to you to purchase or to use. You can purchase UWorld, but it's a question bank. You will do questions. Those questions are difficult, and actually it helped me out to do my questions properly on NCLEX. UWorld is one of the things that you can use, and it helps out. Okay. And coming back to my last statement, make yourself ready, plan, use at least minimum of like 2 hours a day to study. I know it's difficult with families or difficult with everything around you, but you can make it. You can make it happen. Okay. And the last thing is pray. Whenever you do something, prayer helps. Okay. Whatever religion you are in America, keep praying. So you will be successful in your NCLEX examination. Okay. Thank you so much. If I miss anything, I'll come back, and probably if it's interesting and I'll share the same kind of video, please share to any of your friends like who is studying NCLEX and who is making ready. Or if you like this video, hit subscribe button. Okay. I'm out. Thank you so much, and good luck on your NCLEX examination. Bye-bye.